Welcome back to my house, everybody. Guess what? I am 10 days in, y'all. 10 days ago, I had 21, all the remaining teeth extracted in my mouth 10 days ago. And I'm doing fantastic. Thank you all so much for reaching out to me. It has been a journey. And if you've been through this, then you know. And if you're thinking about going through it, let me just tell you, I wish I would have done it years ago. If I would have done it years ago, I'd already know how to talk today. So bear with me. I just wanted to come and give y'all a quick update. I'm doing great. All of the swelling is gone. My bite is a little off. See that? But I go next Tuesday to fix that and do a post-op. Almost all of my stitches are gone. I still talk funny, but that's getting better. I'm learning how to eat again, just like a little baby. And my face looks a little different, but I imagine that's going to change too as my gums heal and the teeth settle in. These are my immediates, and in about 6 or 7 months, maybe, I'll go back and I will get fitted for my permanents. These I call my little baby chiclet teeth, because they're so tiny. They're so little. But I love them. I love them. And I wish I would have done this years ago. And to be really, really honest, I know everybody's experience is different. But it was nowhere near as bad as I thought and antagonized and stressed over. It was nowhere near as bad. Not going to sugarcoat it for you. It wasn't a cakewalk, but it was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. And now I can just steadily heal. I can learn how to say my S words again. And yeah, I absolutely love them. In addition to my new smile, do you see my background looks different? I rearranged my whole work area for 2 reasons. One, I was feeling so cramped up the way it was. But for 2, y'all, we're getting ready to do clue number 20 here in just a second. And letting you know, it's our last sashing week for this whole quilt project. The one we've been waiting for, the last sashing week. Next week finishes up all the clues. And can I just tell you, I'm ready for the clues to be over. I still have a lot of sewing to do. But I needed to rearrange to make room for my new baby. You're going to see that here in just a second. I have a new baby here in the studio. We have a new baby out in the coop. And I have new baby chiclet teeth. So lots of new things here. And it's been so much fun. And I want to say exciting. I'm excited about my new smile. I feel very self-conscious about the way I talk. So, y'all, I've been singing when I'm here by myself. And just trying to get used to it. And it's a process. And I'm going to look back at this video one day and be like, wow, I've come so far. I'm still really sore. Still really touchy, especially here in the chin area. But you know what? I'm just putting myself out here because I feel like some of you are in the same boat, right? And although my channel and my content's not really about dentures or denture wearing, when I watch videos, that's the kind of content I watch, and I'm so grateful that people were brave enough to share their experience because it helped me go through mine. And so when I give you these updates, it's just to encourage you. If you're going through it, getting ready to go through it, contemplating it, thinking about it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it, right? And there was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, I don't remember. It's going to take some getting used to, isn't it? All right, everybody. I'm going to just share a couple of little updates from here at my house before we get started with clue number 20. Are you ready? Let's go. Out with our chickens, one of our girls went broody and hatched a little baby. She actually hatched two, but one of our little babies unfortunately didn't make it. But this little chicken, y'all, she rules the whole roost out there. And everyone just watches out for her. Mama is doing such a good job. She's such a good mama. And the baby is thriving and growing every single day. This is our first baby to hatch by one of our girls, and we've just been so excited about the new addition and the new baby to our flock. Our garden is overrunning and we have all kinds of stuff coming in almost on a daily basis. Even one of our little baby pumpkins is ready to come in. Doesn't that look good? Welcome to my studio, my new Baby Lock Altair 2. Y'all, I am so excited about this machine. I just got it yesterday. I have so much to learn, so I'll keep you updated. This might be my most favorite clue of Sundae Stars. It's not the last clue. That's next week, y'all. We are approaching the end of this quilt as far as doing all of the clues, right? This is the last sashing clue week. Yay! I know some of you have told me you love doing the sashing units, and I really loved doing the sashing units in the very beginning, but with every quilt, I have a favorite part and an unfavorite part. Do you know what I'm saying? Am I the only one who feels like that? The sashing has been my least favorite part of doing this clue, but it's all fun. It's just my least favorite. And this week, we're doing our last week of sashing. Do you want to take a look at the progress of this quilt? Welcome back, everybody. I'm Lisa with the Quiltmaker Homestead. We're doing clue number 20 of Sundae Stars, the paper piecing mystery quilt. I'm so glad you're here. Let's pull up our progress. Y'all, we have 6 little gray spots left on this quilt, and we'll be filling those in next week. This week concludes all of the sashing. And let me just ask you, while this is here on the screen, because I've said from the very beginning, the sashing is going to be so much work, but it's going to be so worth it. And originally, I had put just solid strips of fabric for the sashing. And I think that that would be pretty. It looked pretty with a solid strip of fabric as the sashing. But don't you think these sashing strips really elevate this quilt to the next level? What do you think? I want your honest opinions. Do you love the sashing pieced like this? Or do you think that a solid piece of fabric would maybe perhaps give your eyes a place to rest in the quilt? I was conflicted, but I always go with a solid piece of sashing. I always do that. And so this is my first quilt ever with such a complicated pieced sashing. And I absolutely love it. For me, I think it was so worth it. What are your honest thoughts on that? I would love to know. And don't be afraid to hurt my feelings. Y'all, I've been doing YouTube for many, many years now. It takes a lot to hurt my feelings. I would just really like to know, what are your honest thoughts about it? Let's take a close-up look at these sashing units. There we go. Isn't that just gorgeous? So much work. A ton of work. But I absolutely love it, right? I hope you do too. Let's come on down to the pressing board this week. No pink fabric. We're just using the brown and the background fabric. And here are your templates. right there. That's how many pieces you need of each one. And for the foundation PDF, you're going to print 4 copies. That's going to give you a total of 24 sashing units. 24 of the last sashing units, right? And just to let you know, this week I'm not assembling the whole sashing strip, although this concludes the last piece and we absolutely could. And if you're working ahead because you're much faster than me and you want to go ahead and sew that sashing strip together, by all means do that. Just know that eventually, after Clue 21, we're going to start assembling units, and assembling the sashing strip will be one of my videos coming up. Okay, I've already taken off one of them, and even though we've done sashing units together, here lately we've been doing the triangle sashing units, right? It's been a hot minute since we've done this unit, and even though I know that I don't have to because you have this, right? You can do this without a video. And the videos are pretty much redundant at this point, even though we're going to go ahead and piece this together, and it just gives us an opportunity to hang out, right? So let me grab my fabrics, let me switch to screen, and we will piece these pieces. Let's see, there's 4 fabric pieces that make up this unit, so it should go by pretty quick, especially if you're chain piecing, right? Let me go switch those screens. All right, here we are with our little sashing unit. Look, you can tell I was done cutting all of my fabric strips by the time I got to Clue 20, right? I didn't even cut the little tips off of my off of my little triangles by the time I got to cutting Clue 20. All right, we're gonna put some glue right down in that first position. I'm starting right here in the middle, and that first fabric goes right side facing up. Number 2 is one of the A templates. It's the smaller little triangle. And if we lift that fabric up, we can see that the long part of the triangle is right down here. So it is arranged like this, and then we're flipping it right on over. Now we're going to sew our first seam for the week. It was raining earlier, now the sun's all out. Our garden really needed the rain, so we were glad to see the rain this morning. And I have a hanging basket out on my back deck, and that is the most high maintenance plant I've ever seen. Like, I have to water it every day. And I've come to realize that hanging basket plants, although they're beautiful and I love them, they're not my jam. They're just too high maintenance for me. So this might be my very last hanging basket. She is just so needy. Like, in the morning she looks fine. By 12 o'clock in the afternoon she looks all dried up, and I have to go out there and rescue her. Alright, our third piece is going to be right over here, right? Number 3. That's the other small little triangle. And the long part of the triangle is going to go this way on that diagonal. Yeah, I think with all the other things we have going on, hanging baskets are just too much for me. But it rained today, so maybe I can do a little less hovering around that hanging basket today. All right, we're going to trim off that extra fabric. I'm trying really hard not to put any glue in that seam allowance. It's a little bit harder on this little end sashing unit because those little triangle places are tiny. So that's where we are, and we have one more piece right down here. So let's go ahead and flip this fabric over as much as it'll go, right? Because just as a reminder, this fourth fabric, the long piece doesn't go over here. On this one, the long part of the triangle is down here, right? So when we place it, it's like that, unlike these other two. So now we're just going to flip that right on over. And this is our last seam for the sashing units. All right. I say it's our last seam for the sashing units. Let me just tell you, this video is pre-recorded. I'm recording this video on June the 5th. And up until today, I still have my hands include 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up till 20. Okay? I've done the one unit with you during the video, but I have multiple bags with hundreds of pieces of fabric in them, divided up into clues. And this won't be my last sashing piece. I have all the sashing pieces left to sew at this point. But my hope is, by the time you're seeing this video, and we're chatting in the premiere section, hi everybody, my hope is that I'm all caught up. We'll see. But that's my hope. All right, let's turn that off. Let's go ahead and square up this little baby unit. I will say I've given up on using my rotating mat for the little tiny clues because it just doesn't make sense. But I've used my rotating mat. You can see it right there behind me, right? I've used it for bigger stuff and it is so handy. But for this little baby unit, it's just as fast to turn it by hand. So there is that side. And the perfect finished side. That's why I love paper piecing. All these tiny little triangles would be so wonky for me if I was just piecing traditionally. There we go, we're making 24 of these. And that concludes the sashing pieces. It's almost very bittersweet, isn't it? I've called these all kinds of names in the last 20 weeks. I'll be glad to call them done. So worth it, but done, right? I feel like these videos have gotten so much shorter as we've progressed throughout the weeks, right? But again, it's all pretty much redundant information. You've had this down since like clue 3. You've known what to do. Anyway, I'm so glad you're hanging out with me each week, even though you know what to do and I don't have to show you or guide you because you've had it. But I'm so glad you're here anyway, just hanging out with me. One more week of clues. I can't wait to see you next Friday. Clue number 21. I'll see you then. Bye, everybody.